Hello everyone, this is Bobbin Threadbare and welcome back to Deus Ex. You know what I did? I went and forgot an items cache back with the mole people. This is a slight problem because there are no fewer than 3 points of no return between myself and the mole people tunnels. But it's nothing that a few lambs, maybe some super speed, can't fix. Super speed isn't quite useful here, especially with a sloped ramp there. It tends to slip off. Super speed also doesn't affect swimming speed, but it does help right here. It's a very precise jump. Took me a few tries to do it, but it's pretty awesome when you can. And as for this, well, this is just plain simple. With lambs and super speed, I only need one. Plus it's another way to get around those lasers. No trouble at all. And the mole people tunnels are just around this corridor here. And here we are.
Hold fire!
And this is the cache I was talking about right here in the corner. If you duck down, you can see a lamb which points out the fact that there is stuff back here. A whole room full of stuff and a bioelectric cell that I think I'm going to use right away. Because one unfortunate thing about super speed is that it is fairly energy intensive, and it doesn't change with more points.
I surrender.
More points gets you faster speed, but the energy use is the same. But anyhow, we now return you to the progress, now in session. I think I got that backwards.
This is the terminal at LaGuardia owned by Juan Ivanovich Lebedev. We're certain based on what you've discovered that he's working with terrorists. Your orders are to locate and kill him. We're sending you a map of the airfield.
So, getting this guy is particularly tricky. None of my firearms work underwater, and the dart gun probably won't kill him in one shot, especially because you can't get a perfect aim when you're in the water. You move around too much.
Great. That should make sure you and I won't miss any shots. I've notified the recovery team. 1 barrel left. We think this one may actually be on Lebedev's jet.
Yeah, I am not going down there just for shotgun ammo. I mean, I'm full up already. Come on. Yeah, one advantage of coming here right away is that you get to find the second barrel of ambrosia straight away. And that's the same key that the guy had on him. The guy who just killed the flamethrower man. It opens the east gate like it said, but everybody else actually has a key too. But it's a different sort of key.
The bastards just killed him.
I have no idea how he saw the dead guy and not me. But either way, pumped enough bullets into him to make it stick. So anyway, infiltrating these security towers is a bit hard, since you've got cameras looking in both of the directions you can approach from. But if you run fast enough, and if you've got the key by killing anybody except the one guy on the dock itself, then you can get in fast enough that the alarm won't be triggered by the time you get up here. Also, interesting note, turrets can destroy enemy bots. And exploding enemy bots can explode explosive barrels. Which is why we see no evidence remaining. Anyhow, 2 guys over here by a gate that we can't actually leave, that we can't actually go through, because doing so would leave the premises, and that's not what we're here to do. And of course, turrets are also very helpful against human opponents. But the unfortunate thing is that humans run away once they've been damaged enough. And that can be tricky. You can tell that there's sort of a maze of cargo containers around here. It's easy to get lost in, but then a retreating NSF guy is easy to lose as well. And they won't attack you, but it's still troublesome. And I figure we'll just take out these doors the easy way. One lamb does for them both. And while I'd normally need an extra crate just to get up here, super speed, bitches. No need for anything but my mad ups. Sebo shells. This makes the shotgun vaguely useful against robotic and hard targets. I believe it works against doors as well. It's armor piercing, that's the big thing. But like I said, it's far less useful than explosive. It's mostly for cheap targets like cameras. And the trick here is mostly to make sure that, since it's one of the cameras will probably see you, it's more important to make sure that both of the cameras don't see you at once. If you can do that, you can duck around the other side from the side you approached on, and thus neither camera will be active long enough to trigger the alarm. And we got these turrets interested in another bot. Fortunately, it's moving away, and turrets kind of have trouble tracking. So let's change that. Let's make it move towards us instead. Oh, it's got good aim. Luckily, an individual shot doesn't do too much damage. But now that it's approaching us, its fate is sealed. It's just too bad I can't get a good look at its fate from here. Because if I tried to look through the open door, it would shoot the hell out of me. That's just not something I want to do. So anyway, on the entrance to the hangar is actually on the other side of this field. I'm going kind of backwards from where you're supposed to go in order to get any progress, but, you know, I'm not interested in only progress. I'm in this for the exploration and for all the goodies you find in all of these towers. Gas grenades I'm never going to use. And GEP guns that I already have, but hey, I'll take the rockets. And we've got a third military bot down here. Let's see if I can do for it what I did for the last one. Get its attention, get it over here. Man, it's got good aim. Those shots almost hit me. And that shot did. And then it got stuck on the helipad, and I got bored of waiting for it to do anything, and so I shot it with a rocket and it blew up. The end. Right, anyway. Got another tower here to deal with. Also out of bioelectric energy. But that's okay. You don't have to go at super speed in order to get into the tower safely. It just helps. Gas grenade I got from one of the dead NSF. Recoil goes on the sniper rifle, no duh. I think it's up to 20% now. Well, that disables the tower, but there's really nothing left to shoot at least in this corner here. However, there is this odd little area back here. See, behind this door is an electrical field, which will sap the hell out of your bioelectric energy. It's pretty dangerous. Luckily, my bioenergy is already... Oh crap, I only meant to throw one. So the advantage of throwing the grenade out there is that you get to see exactly what you'd get by jumping in here. There's that control panel over there. I could turn off the field using that, but it would take 2 multi-tools to do it. And ultimately it's just faster when the crates are already exploded, just to run in and get the EMP and the weapon mod. Plus I don't have to spend my multi-tools. And this is where the elevator comes out. Nothing else to it, really. Oh, bot number 4. There we go. I think that's all of them. Interesting note here. It says there's only 3 bots from the satellite image. That's military intelligence for you. So, there's actually not that much to find out here between all of these crates. I mean, there's one batch of goodies by a barrel and some crates that I apparently missed. But I can get them later. I can get them next time, that's no problem. It's pretty easy to find. Hey, a lockpick and a multi-tool, neither of which I need. That is awesome. This here is a very tricky jump, actually. Unless you have super speed, in which case it becomes a merely regular tricky jump. Oh, that's interesting. I've dumped so many accuracy mods into the stealth pistol it can't take anymore. Well, I don't need any for the sniper rifle, so I guess the regular pistol will do. Get it up to about the same. Now, you don't actually need to make the jump. There's a ladder up to this area here. But still, it's easier just to jump from one to the other. So this guy, if he had run through this door, would have opened for him. But I do have the key, and that opens this box here, which has a button that'll also let me open this, but that's for losers. Winners use super speed. You can actually pull this off if you have a small crate, too. It is pretty awesome. So, speaking of tricks using crates, this right here is an alternate entrance into the barracks. Now you gotta be careful here. There's a couple of NSF around. And they have very sensitive hearing. You may have noticed. However, with some super speed, we can actually get up straight into the rafters. Unfortunately, he happened to be positioned just right to see me immediately. Damn. Well, still, we've got the height advantage. And the head part of the collision cylinder is a lot easier to hit from above. And it looks as though there's a couple NSF from outside who want to get in very desperately. So I figured I'd oblige them. There's another guy. But I have no idea where he's going. Anyway, there's nothing actually up here in the rafters, just a good perch from which to snipe. I told you everybody had a security key tower. Tower key. No idea what he was doing over there. Anyhow, seasonal flooding is still minimal. On the dartboard, we can actually pick up the darts they used. And over here we've got a hidden compartment. And These are all over the place, aren't they? And hey, what do you know? A scope. Not much left I need a scope for. So I'll put it on the Gep gun, even though it auto-tracks. I don't intend on keeping the mini crossbow around forever. Although, come to think of it, it will come in handy because eventually I will have to fight things underwater. Like I just mentioned, it's one of the very few weapons that actually works underwater. And this is what I was talking about before. You get one of their attentions, you duck around the other side of the tower. I was just a little too impatient. Still, when you're inside the tower, the turrets can't hit you. So it still worked. It's just a bit less quiet than I was hoping for. Not that that matters when everybody's already dead. So, anyway, the actual barracks, the place where people sleep, that area is locked. But the secret compartment had the key that'll let me in without any picks or explosives. Fortunately, 3 out of these 4 footlockers are locked. And so, efficiency in explosions. Hey, what do you know? Free land. This is the one that was unlocked. So that's actually pretty nice that they put the code in that one. And this is the keypad. Pretty simple. Now, who could that be?
You can relax, JC. I told the troops to stand down. That's right. I'm working for the NSF. I'll meet you at the 747.
Gasp. Never could have guessed. Hey, what's wrong, Paul? Don't you want to talk to me? Come on, man, I'm right here. Let's have a chat. Scared or something?
Excellent work. I underestimated your abilities. You work for the NSF? Listen to what I've got to say. We don't have much time. You got that right. UNATCO will have a team here in a few minutes. The Grey Death is a man-made virus. Everyone up to the President is at UNATCO's mercy as long as UNATCO controls the supply of ambrosia. You believe that? We have proof. We need to get the ambrosia to Hong Kong. Heard of Tracer Tong? He can help us synthesize it ourselves. You better step away from the jet. Your boss is my next objective. Join us, JC. Talk to Lebedev. He can convince you.
Get back here, you're not done talking yet.
Get on the plane, we're almost ready to go. Blackmail of the US government could not possibly escape the notice of the United Nations. Don't be so quick to trust the UN. Are you kidding? The UN's about the only chance we've got these days, if the US spirals into another civil war. A pretext, nothing more. The whole project of world government, going back to the League of Nations, has been funded and manipulated mainly by wealthy bankers. Is that so? Remember that the UN itself was built on land donated by John D. Rockefeller. Get on board. A UNATCO security squad will be here any minute. The wealthy have always been the ones to profit from one world government. More later. You better get moving. The United Nations' secret goal... Well, this is David Rockefeller's description from a half a century ago. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers. The UN was founded not to end war, but to gradually dissolve national governments and replace them with a globalist meritocracy. Average people never benefit from government and business on a scale they can't even understand. Go! Go!
Well, I'd say that's not completely true, but... Well, let's talk to this mechanic next.
Hey, you're the guy the Fed sent? I have something for you.
How do you know anything about the feds?
Oh, Lebedev, all his people right now, they're running around like ants thinking it's gonna be a raid. Rich bastard probably has some kind of drug deal about to happen. Anyway, filched this stuff from a guy's locker. I'm selling a recoil weapon mod for 400. I also have some shotgun shells I'll give you for 300.
Ooh, I will take that weapon mod.
Here's 400 for the recoil weapon mod.
Appreciate it.
Stash that right in the sniper rifle. Yep, that gets me down to minus 30. Now we missed seeing the back of this closed here.
Hold fire.
But you couldn't have gotten in there even with super speed, anything like that. There's only one way into that airplane, and that's through the passenger door. Now, just like outside, there's a couple of truck trailers with a couple goodies inside. Yeah, sure enough. That's what the interior map of the 747 looks like. Free rockets. Nice. All just for coming back here.
Easy, we don't want any trouble.
But now, let me show you something that you can only do with 2 points in speed and 2 points in strength. It's actually pretty neat. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. But... Or I could accidentally make the large crate disappear completely.
Hope you decide to join up.
That could happen too. But it's okay. I can do the same thing with 2 medium crates. We're not done yet. So I can climb both of these ladders at once. That would help. Alright, that's one. Bring the other guy over here. You know, I should have used 2 medium crates in the first place. I can walk a lot faster with both of them than I can with a large crate. It's one thing that the strength mod gives you. But now, with super speed, I can jump onto the wing and the body of the 747. I can stand right on top of it. I think it's just really neat that they bothered to have, you know, collision detection for the entire top of the plane, although they missed one of the textures. Oh well, no one's supposed to get up here, but the fact that if you get up here, it's entirely possible to have some fun and run around, that to me is pretty amazing. And no, you can't get up into the rafters. I've tried, but there's just not enough speed in my super speed to get all the way up there. I suppose I might be able to use lambs as footholds, but, well, there's nothing up in the rafters anyway.
Hurry up. The UNATCO security squad won't be far behind.
And I'm not even supposed to be on top of the airplane. You can bet your ass there's nothing up in the rafters. So, going into this airplane, there are 6 ways that the scenario can fall out. So what's going to happen is that when I find Lebedev, Anna Navarre is going to show up and say that I need to kill him right away. So, scenario 1, I kill Lebedev before Anna shows up. She congratulates me on a job well done. Option 2, I kill Lebedev after Anna shows up. Same thing. Option 3, I listen to what Lebedev has to say until Anna gets fed up and shoots him, and Anna is disappointed. Option 4, I walk away. This is pretty much the pacifist route here. I walk away, but Anna kills him while I'm gone. Number 5, I kill Anna, and therefore listen to everything Lebedev has to say because she can't interrupt with guns. And then there's option 6, which is kill both Anna and Lebedev. Just for the hell of it, I guess.
That's the last one. Good work.
You can also kill Navarre after she kills Lebedev, but the results are the same. Yeah, and sure enough, they've got some more nanotech here, too. This is that code from earlier. The one that was in the computer account that I hacked a map or 2 ago. So the thing is that I want to hear everything Lebedev has to say, but at the same time, I do not want to kill Anna And I also don't want Anna to get pissed off at me. Manderley also gets pissed off, although in this one case, for this one event, he will pay out the entire bonus no matter what. Yeah, and there's Lebedev himself. So, there is sort of a way to compromise. See, the game always considers at least one of Anna or Lebedev dead, no matter what you do to try and prevent them from ever meeting, like putting a crate in the way. However, there are some advantages to doing so anyways. Let's find out what they are. Just as soon as I take a look at this. Yep, second place you can find the code to that canister in the cargo bay.
I surrender.
What?
Easy now, Agent. UNATCO has a policy against killing unarmed prisoners. We have much to learn from each other.
We're assuming control of the airfield. The vaccine will be returned to the international authorities.
Don't you want to hear why your brother came over to our side?
He makes his own decisions.
You know he wouldn't betray UNATCO without a reason.
Interesting note. Lebedev has a gun, he just didn't carry it. So he could do this unarmed prisoners thing.
Good work. Now finish the job.
He surrendered. He's an unarmed prisoner. UNATCO policy protects him.
Terminate the prisoner, Agent. If you are too afraid, you are ordered to return to base on Manderley's authority. There is a helicopter waiting.
Well, that was creepy. But I want to hear what Lebedev has to say.
If you know something, just tell me.
The question you've got to ask, I'm surprised you haven't, is the obvious one. Who am I? Who made me, and for what purpose?
UNATCO has briefed me on my augmentations. Get to the point.
Return to base, Agent Denton. I will handle this.
Your parents were murdered precisely because they could have told you the correct answer to that question.
That's a pretty big claim.
You didn't have parents. The ones you knew were employees. You were made by a cabal of technophiles so crazed for power that they would control not only governments and people, but the chemistry of our bodies as well.
Leave us, Agent. Now.
I don't think you have any ability to stop me.
Sounds like a picture-perfect description of the NSF.
Think bigger, Agent. Think global.
You have disobeyed a direct order.
Do you think it's an accident that the cure for the global plague is owned by a single corporation, and that it's kept so secret that only the tabloids dare print a story suggesting it exists?
The supply is limited. That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy.
But where does that corporation manufacture the cure? And where did your brother uncover the information that brought him over to our side?
Go on.
I can tell by the expression on your friend's face that she knows where I'm heading. UNATCO is completely correct to think that Tracer Tong will soon understand Ambrosia. He was the one who was going to receive this shipment.
Why tell me all this?
I've said nothing that UNATCO won't find on this plane's computer. But here's the secret. This is what Paul was so interested to hear from Tracer Tong.
Manderley will be disappointed in your insubordination.
Alright, so what's the secret, dude? Come on, she's not gonna stop you. What the hell's the secret? Oh, come on, tell me. Alright, fine. Guess I'll just shoot you myself. So you get 175 points for listening to what he has to say while Anna is present. You get 200 points for listening to what he has to say after she's gone. Now, while it would be nice to get 375 points, because normally Anna just shoots the hell out of him as soon as he's done talking. But it's actually an either-or sort of thing. You either get the 200 or the 175. And even if you shoot Anna after he's done talking and he says his second thing when she's gone, you won't get extra points. And besides all that, I wanted Anna alive, so that she has other stuff that she does in the future if she survives this encounter, and I want to see that stuff too.
Congratulations, Agent. You are one of us after all. I confess I had my doubts, Your helicopter is waiting at the airfield. We can say what we like in the paperwork. That is how it is done. Swift and quiet. Good work. Now get to the helicopter.
Wasn't particularly swift or quiet, overall. It was an unsilenced weapon, and I listened to him gab the whole way through first. But yeah, that's how you get an interesting compromise. By blacking Anna's path and then killing Lebedev yourself. It doesn't do that much in the long run, aside from letting Anna live.
Proceed to the helipad. We know your brother was here. He is gone, but we will find him.
And here's the man himself.
Manderley has assigned me the peacekeeping occupation of the airport.
Standard procedure, it appears. I'm sure we can count on you.
I want to be the one to execute Lebedev.
Some bad news. I already took him out.
Yes, of course. Congratulations, Agent.
Hey, about my brother.
A shame that we have to track down and kill one of our most advanced agents. At least we have one of you left.
Don't you think we should give Paul a chance to explain himself? He's been with UNATCO for years.
Only one thing can happen when you break your oath to the Coalition. I will be truthful. I have requested the assignment of the Paul Denton assassination. Again, they ignore me. Again, they think they have a better punishment for a traitor than a shotgun to the head. I will do it myself, even if they say to get him alive. I was the one who warned them a year ago not to trust Paul Denton. Do not make the same mistakes as your brother. The helicopter is waiting.
Gunter is a very straightforward sort of guy.
Gunter told me about Paul.
It's true. Paul's been working for the NSF.
This is gonna shake up the Coalition, JC. I don't know if you realized how important your brother was.
Coalition will recover. I'm not so worried about the Coalition.
UN officials will probably get involved. You'll have to keep your head down if you're gonna come through this in one piece. Sure you're ready to head back to base?
I'm ready. Let's move out.
Get in.
I really like the skybox on this level. It's really been improved by the mods I'm using. But since we're hanging out in an airport, I figured that today would be a good day to head back to Science Corner. Black helicopters. Helicopters are a very common kind of aircraft. Black is a very common paint color, especially among the government agencies and the military. The DEA and FBI especially love to paint everything they've got black, and as for the military, well, the black and Black Hawk says it all. It can also be hard to tell exactly what a helicopter is doing in an area at any given time. Emergency services and news copters are all well marked and out to look at something interesting, but government copters could be performing a training exercise, test flight, or supporting a raid or manhunt that someone on the ground doesn't necessarily know about. So what's with the mystique surrounding black helicopters? How come we keep running into that one Midnight Sun paper worried about them? It seems as though the earliest explanation goes back to the 1970 book, The Late Great Planet Earth, which was the first major bestseller to predict a soon-to-arrive Armageddon. The book's outline was written by Hal Lindsey, who subscribes to the same apocalyptic, premillennial dispensational philosophy as our old Left Behind friend, Tim LaHaye. In his book, Lindsey suggests that the plague of locusts in John's Revelation actually refers to a swarm of black helicopters which the oppressive one-world government will use to cover the land in its storm troopers. Perhaps the next biggest contributor to the black helicopters theory is Black Helicopters Over America, a book written by Jim Keith back in 1995 which concerned itself with the UN taking over the United States, the Waco incident, The idea that UFOs and cattle mutilations are secretly caused by terrestrial aircraft, and more than a few hilariously inept factual errors. Oh, and it also has a sequel, Black Helicopters 2, The Endgame Strategy. However, while the books may be vaguely to utterly non-factual, there are some very real stealth helicopters that exist right now. In the SEALs raid that killed Osama bin Laden, the strike team used a pair of specially modified Blackhawks to sneak up on his compound. However, one helicopter grazed its tail rotor against the compound wall, forcing it to land early. The SEAL team blew up their vehicle before they left, but enough of the tail survived to prove the existence of the long-rumored Silent Hawk. Not only does it use the special materials, paints, and constructions found in stealth aircraft, but it also uses special covers on its rotors that prevent anyone from hearing it until it's just above them. It might also be capable of electromagnetic device suppression, but that might have been a more remote device used during the raid. Even so, it's pretty neat, in a worrying sort of way. Contrails. Jet engines run on jet fuel, which is a highly refined sort of petroleum whose combustion with oxygen results primarily in carbon dioxide and hydric acid, better known as water. All of that water vapor pouring out of the back of the engines can massively increase humidity. And if the atmosphere conditions are just right, that can cause condensation and therefore clouds, as the vapor hits the intensely cold air of high altitudes. And since it's such a localized phenomenon, the clouds form a line directly behind the jet plane. Airplane wings can do this as well, even without the jet, since the vortices that follow in the wing's wake can wind up concentrating the water vapor already in the air to the point of condensation. Now, some people look up at contrails and think, hey, that's a pretty neat way that humans interact with the natural environment. Others, however, think, what in the hell is that, and could it be dangerous? They may also be thinking back to, say, crop dusting and Agent Orange chemical dumps, which destroyed massive amounts of rainforest back during the Vietnam War. And to be fair, chemtrails and contrails share a lot in common. Water is a chemical, after all. But water and a little CO2 is all that they are. And with that out of the way, let's talk about planes. So if you're like me, you may have some trouble visualizing exactly how a wing works. Yes, there's a high-pressure zone underneath and a low-pressure above because of the curve of the wing, which slows down the air that goes over the top as compared to the uninterrupted air that flows beneath. But what does that really mean? Well, the key is to keep in mind that air exists and fills space. It's not just an emptiness that you and I can walk around in. Since nature abhors a vacuum, the high-pressure air has a basic need to fill the low-pressure zone above the wing. But since that wing's in the way, what happens is that if enough air hits the wing at once, it can force the thing and whatever's attached to it up off the ground, just from that effort to fill the vacuum. And so that is the amazing science of wings, to cause the air itself to exert enough force to defy gravity. Another interesting aspect of air is the sound barrier. Now, the thing about sound waves is that they move at just under 300 million meters per second, like any other part of the electromagnetic spectrum, while in a vacuum. But nobody can hear sound waves. What we hear are the air molecules that sound waves vibrate. Since sound waves have such a tremendously long wavelength, they hit basically whatever happens to be in their way. Light waves can move through the air and leave behind only a blue glow, at least with our sun and atmosphere, but to sound waves, everything is opaque. However, since it's also low energy, the molecules they hit can easily vibrate and release more sound waves to keep the noise going. It's these vibrations in the air that our ears pick up, and the speed of sound represents the ability of a medium to propagate low-frequency energy. While the speed of sound increases in denser materials, liquids and solids, in air, it kind of represents the fast speed at which it can easily move. Once you get faster than around 700 miles per hour, give or take a higher low pressure zone, an object will encounter so much air at once that it effectively becomes a liquid in how it reacts, and it's this sudden spike in density that caused the sound barrier to be such a problem back in the 1940s. However, science has advanced significantly since Chuck Yeager first definitively broke the sound barrier in manned flight on October 14th, 1947, and nearly every military airplane can go at least Mach 1 today. As for the sonic boom, what's happening there is that the airplane, or the bullet, or the bullwhip, or the lightning bolt is moving air out of the way so fast that the other air nearby cannot flow into the low pressure zone fast enough to keep up, at least for a split second. And so once it does, it all collapses in at once, releasing a massive, and in the airplane's case, continuous wave of sound energy, which we call a sonic boom, or a gunshot, or a whip crack, or thunder, depending on the source. Personal thoughts. Science rules. Thanks for joining me again in Science Corner, and I hope I'll see you soon.